is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with that analysis. Again, we're going to talk about a team that a lot of people were highly disappointed in, a team that a lot of people gave up on, a lot of people were just frustrated with, and they was a talk of probably the most disappointing team this year. They bring in Big Al Horford, the perfect teammate, a guy that can knock down some threes, knock down some mid-range, switch and guard multiple positions, post up from time to time, decent free throw shooter, excellent screener and passer. He was supposed to be that piece because he made Joel Embiid life a living, and they really had nothing against Boston when they had Horford. So one of the best defenders and one of the best neutralizers for Joel Embiid joins Joel Embiid, making him even stronger in the fact that he is a solid defender at this point in his career. We thought big things. They also bring in Josh Richardson, a guy that can handle the ball a little bit, playing the pick and roll a little bit, make quick reads, knock down threes off the ball, on the ball a little bit, but also being able to have a little bit of in-between game. He was supposed to be a difference maker, a downgrade definitely from Jimmy Butler, but also a guy that was younger but had more time to develop, and he has improved each and every year up until this point. So we thought that that will continue coming into this team. And on top of that, he's playing with a better team than he did in Miami, talent-wise. So you would think that that'll make his job a lot easier, and he would be able to prosper in his role. But he has been a solid player for them, decent defender. We thought that he and Horford would make them even probably the number one defense in the NBA to some people, and that just wasn't the case. And offensively, they didn't mesh as well as we thought that they would, which is unfortunate just because they had high expectations after making these acquisitions, and they definitely did not live up to the hype with a 6 seed in the Eastern Conference, a 39-26 record. They also gave Tobias Harris a lot of money, $32 million this season, and even though he wasn't terrible this year, you would expect him to have a bigger role, especially from last year, being a guy that was probably the third or fourth best player on that team. He'll move up just because Butler is gone and Ben Simmons is not really known as an offensive player. He did give you 47% from the field and 36% from 80% from the free throw line. Also was able to grab 6.8 rebounds and 3.2 assists, 19 points per game. That's decent, but not for $32 million. You expect a little bit more from him. But I also never thought that Tobias Harris was a max contract player. So that also just put that in perspective, that they paid to keep him. They didn't want to lose him for nothing like they was going to do with Jimmy Butler into the sign and trade. But instead, they get a solid scorer, but nothing too special. Furkan Korkmaz, they wanted him to go. They ended up bringing him back, gave him a lot more than they thought, and he gave them some floor spacing and some shooting. That can also handle the ball a little bit and knock down mid-range and get to the basket and get out in transition. They also made a trade that I thought was good to bolster their bench, bringing in Glenn Robinson III, who didn't really get that much playing time because the season ended up getting suspended, but he was a solid player for them. Not the greatest addition, but at least give them a better bench with Alec Burke, too, a guy that had a decent season with Golden State, can get to the basket, can hit threes from time to time, can also make quick reads and passes, a decent playmaker for his skill set, and he is a legitimate 6'6", 214, while Glenn Robinson was a legitimate 6'6", 232. And then you look at Ben Simmons having probably his best season in the NBA as a defender, was just ferocious, getting a lot of steals, just too big, just too long, 6'10", 240, just have upper body strength, shot 58% from the field, shot 33% from three, even though he didn't really average one a game. But he also gave you 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 16 points. Not a huge improvement over his career numbers, but still a better defensive season. And Matisse Thybulle is the last piece, 6'5", 201 Thybulle. Gave them a defensive guy on the perimeter that can play in the passing lanes, that can play great individual one-on-one defense, can stay in front of his guys. And the more he adds more strength and the more better he get and more confident he gets in that three-point shot, he can really be a great 3-and-D wing in this league. And the fact that he can guard forwards or sometimes power forwards, depending on which one is out there, what lineup is out there, really make him a valuable commodity in the league, especially since he is on a rookie contract and you're not really paying that much money, and he has already shown that he's one of the best wing defenders in the league. As a rookie, he just has to catch up with most of the time they have to the offensive game. But what he has shown right now that he can be a legitimate player in the league, even if he can't knock down a shot. He's just that valuable at the defensive end. And with Joel Embiid, the last person to talk about being the franchise guy, with him being the process, the reason why Philly tanked and tanked and tanked throughout the years to get that franchise guy. Joel Embiid gets injured in college, his value goes down, and they was able to snag a franchise superstar player for basically nothing in that top 4 in that draft. And then they get a guy that's one of the best defenders in the league, one of the best, if not the best, rim protector in the league. You obviously got to bring up guys like Gobert, Anthony Davis in that conversation, but he's definitely there with them. And then a guy that can dominate on the offensive end, especially in the post with his face-up game, his post game, and his physicality just make him tough to score on. And the fact that Joel Embiid is a great athlete for the center position, can cover a lot of space, get steals, rotate, get blocks, contest shots. It is always good to have a great rim protector on the court, and Joel Embiid is one of the best difference makers on that court. His offensive game not as efficient, turns the ball over a lot, not efficient from the mid-range, not efficient from three, but he still isn't scared to take shots. He still shows confidence, and he's willing to play outside of the paint. Even if he's not his greatest strength, he's still willing to do what's best for the team on that side of the court. But Philly, I think, has went a little underrated because everybody has been so disappointed in them, and they really thought that they'd be number one in defense and their offense should be good enough. And obviously their defense and their offense didn't live up to the hype, but they still do have Ben Simmons. They say he should be healthy coming into when the playoffs start, and that's good just because he was just fantastic this year, really getting to the paint, really finishing, getting out in transition, showing that he can be one of the best passers in the league still, and also just giving complete 100% effort almost each and every position in the paint or in the perimeter. Really strong, fast, physical defender. And then you match that with Embiid, one of the best interior defenders in the league. They still can cause teams a lot of problems. If they do start the playoffs right now, they'll be going against Boston, a team that people are very high on. People look at Boston as one of the best contenders in the Eastern Conference, but Philly does match up well against them this year, having size, and that's one thing Boston lacks is legitimate size. So Horford and the B will have that advantage in the post and in the paint. No, not only that, they do have Ben Simmons to put on Tatum. They also have Thybulle. They also do have guys that can come in and give them a little bit of offense, like I said with Glenn Robinson and Alec Burks. But they also do still have Tobias Harris, who has been a solid addition offensively for him, and I think they will need him a lot more, him and Richardson, who are solid defenders, and Richardson is a little above average defender that they can put on guys like Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker. And like I said, you can't put Thybulle on Jaylen Brown or Kemba Walker just because he is that mobile and that athletic, and that can slow them down and really give them an advantage over Boston. But other than that, I feel like people are sleeping a little bit on the Sixers just because they didn't live up to the hype, and people really thought that they had a failure of a season. And with Embiid going down and now coming back back. He should be healthy. Ben Simmons been down, but they've been off about two and a half or 3 months. He should be fully healthy. And the fact that this thing may not start until July gives them a lot more time to get healthier and really get ready for the longest, streak of their career, which is the playoffs. Not only that, by them being a 3-6 seed, they get a chance to go against Toronto, another team I believe that matches up well against, in the favor of Philly. That's a great series for them to have just because Toronto struggles a little bit offensively, and we don't know what Pascal Siakam is made of when you double team and triple team him and really focus in on him. And we're going to have to see what he can do as the best player on the team. And Kyle Lowry has had hot and cold playoff performances, and the fact that they do have a lot of wing defenders that can throw at him, that can slow them down too. And Fred VanVleet is going to be very important. Same with OG, with them having to space out the floor, but also play defense and guard different positions. That's going to be important in this series too. But I think that Philly has a great matchup against them. And what I'm basically saying is, if Philly got to the Eastern Conference Finals, I wouldn't be too surprised, just because they still do have talent. They have a decent coach, and it is a great defensive team still. Even though they're not the best defensive team like we thought, they still are respectable and one of the best. And their offense may be terrible, but when your opponent struggles or can't get quality offense, that turns into transition, that turns into steals and blocks. They can get some easy 3 to 4 to 5 point leads, some ugly, nasty, grindy, gritty games, and that will be enough, to get them out of a 7-game series, which benefits them either because they're a slow team anyway, and making the team play at your pace and your tempo is an advantage for your team. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Philly is a threat in the Eastern Conference? Do you think Philly can win and get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Do you think that they can't beat Boston or Toronto, or do you think that they can? It is up in the air because all them teams are right in the same area when it comes to talent. It just depends on who defends and who wants it more and who execute in the fourth quarter. That could be the biggest difference between a team going to the Eastern Conference Final or a team being disappointed by getting put out earlier than what they wanted to be. But in that top 5, top 6, a lot of these teams are in the same area. They're not too far from each other, not too much better than each other. So it's basically, in my personal opinion, a toss-up for that first and second round in the Eastern Conference, because they all are legitimate, decent teams, and they're not really too much advantage going to either team, and they all do match up well against each other. But other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link for both will be in the description. Also, my channel, Basketball Analysis. Subscribe and like the video. If you already liked the video, thanks for the love and support. If you haven't, like and share. Also, subscribe, because I make videos just like this. I discuss the playoffs, free agency, trade deadline, season preview, also summer league and the NBA draft. And I also do cover every single day. I try to. So if you love basketball, you need that daily fix, you need that basketball in your life, I do make videos every single day. So this should be the channel for you. But other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. Also, like I said in the beginning of the video, buy merchandise on my spread shirt. And if you don't want to buy it there, you can buy merchandise just like this on my eBay. Just like this on my Facebook page too. So check that out. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm going to let me know what you guys think about the Philadelphia 76ers and the Eastern Conference. And I'll be coming with y'all a video tomorrow.